Today we are having the lesson discussion under the common title Saving Planet Against Industrial Revolution. The main points of the lesson agenda are, first of all, presentation of the invited organizations, and point 2, discussion on the most important questions connected with the environmental problems. And to decide what is more important to the world nowadays, we have invited the representatives of the two largest world organizations, which is Greenpeace and the UNIDO, which is the acronym to United Nations Industrial Development Organization. Dear guests, the first point of our meeting is the representation of your organization and latest work. So please, the first will be Greenpeace. The floor is yours.
Greenpeace is a non-governmental environmental organization with offices in over 40 countries and with an international coordinating body in Amsterdam, the Netherlands. The global organization does not accept funding from governments, corporations, political parties, relying on 2.9 million individual supporters and founding grants. Greenpeace has a general consultative status with the United Nations Economic and Social Council. Greenpeace is known for its direct actions and has been described as the most visible environmental organization in the world. Greenpeace has raised environmental issues to public knowledge and influenced both the private and the public sector.
And now the representative of the UNIDO organization. Please, the floor is yours.
The United Nations Industrial Development Organization is specialized agency in the United Nations system, headquartered in Vienna, Austria. The organization's primary objective is the promotion and acceleration of industrial development in developing countries and countries with economies in transition and the promotion of international industrial cooperation. It is also a member of the United Nations Development Group. Nowadays, our main target is industrialization of Africa.
On the 25th of September 2015, the member states of the United Nations officially adopted the 2030 Agenda for Sustainable Development. This marks a radical change in the way the world addresses the many serious development challenges it faces. We will only be able to find lasting solutions to end poverty, inequality, and environmental disruption if all nations, regardless of their income level, work together to implement the SDGs in an integrated manner.
I urge partners across the world to embrace the ambition embodied in the new sets of goals. I look forward to working together to deliver on the unfinished MDG commitments.
The 17 Sustainable Development Goals, SDGs, embrace the need for a global transformation, one that leaves no one behind and gives every child a fair chance of leading a decent life. The SDGs showcase our commitment to protect future generations by limiting climate change, adopting renewable energy, and sustainably managing resources. However, it has been widely recognized that the SDGs will only succeed if they can succeed in Africa. And for this to happen, we need to make sure Africa is on the path of sustainable development through inclusive and sustainable industrialization. Successfully implementing SDG 9 on inclusive and sustainable industrialization, together with innovation and infrastructure, will bring employment opportunities, economic diversification, enhanced value addition, technological change and innovation, and linkages within and across economies. Over the last decade, Africa has recorded an annual average growth rate of 5%, with some countries reaching more than 7%. But fast growth in Africa has not provided the kind of socio-economic transformation the continent needs to make poverty reduction irreversible. Some African countries are on the right track. In the town of Duken, outside of Addis Ababa, the Ethiopian authorities have established the Eastern Industrial Zone, the first industrial park of its kind in the country, which has created more than 50,000 new jobs in just a few years.
እዚህ ዋጀንስ ብዙ ነገር ጥሩ ጎኖችን ብዙ ነገር አይቻለሁ። እሱ ምንድነው? አንደኛው ለጥሩ 4000 በላይ የሚሆን ኢትዮጵያኖች ወጣቶች ጥሩ ድል ከፍተዋል። በዛም ጥሩ በዛም ደግሞ ጥሩ ስኪል አስተምሯል። ጥሩ ስኪል ሞር ስኪል አስተምሯል ኢምፕሎየርስ ማለት ሰራተኞች ማለት ስለዚህ ብዙ ለኢትዮጵያን ለኛ ለኢትዮጵያን ብዙ ዲቨሎፕ አድርጓል ማለት ፈልጋለሁ።
Similarly, the governments of Ghana, Nigeria and Senegal, among others, are working to build industrial sectors that are diversified, globally competitive, environmentally sustainable, and capable of significantly improving their people's living standards. This approach needs to be emulated across Africa over the next decade. Participants at a forum for financing for inclusive and sustainable industrial development held in Addis Ababa in July voiced their strong support for partnerships as the way to implement the post-2015 development agenda.
Often, when people think of industry, they think of pollution, or bad labor practices. But when countries industrialize in an inclusive and sustainable way, they can create decent jobs and preserve their resources without exploiting the environment or people. This is at the heart of SDG 9.
As a way to effectively implement SDG 9 in support of Africa's industrialization, new partnerships and implementation models are being introduced, like the Program for Country Partnership, which is currently piloted in Ethiopia and Senegal. The program addresses current challenges, including the need for enhanced cooperation and coordination, and thus presents an effective and efficient partnership model for operationalizing SDG 9. If we join forces and focus on our sustainable development work, by 2030 we will have created a much more equitable, stable, and livable world.
Presentation of your work. And now the second part of our meeting. We are going to discuss the main question that disturbs our world nowadays. And the first question is, does the development of the industrial sphere really influence the frequency of natural disasters in the world? So, dear guests, what are your thoughts according to this question and generally according to this problem? Greenpeace, you will be the first.
Our strong position was, is, and I am sure will be, yes. Almost every action of the industrial organization has consequences. We do not agree with the consequences of some of our actions. But without these actions, most people in the world would still suffer.
And what about the nature? Don't you think it suffers too?
Our main prerogative is a human.
Without nature, there is no human life at all.
Yes, but without our project, innovations, infrastructure for poor countries, people would have opportunities for surviving. They lived in no human condition. Rubbish near their houses. Where was Greenpeace then?
Thank you for your vivid discussion. I think it's time to pass to the second and most important question nowadays. That is the cooperation of UNIDO and Greenpeace organization possible at all? So, dear representatives, give your points of view. Greenpeace, you will be the first.
It depends on UNIDO standards. If they can check their point of view according to our work. Less pollution from industrial sphere, less endangered species, then our work is possible.
We are always for the cooperations. Whatever the Greenpeace organization considers, our organization tries to develop infrastructure without killing nature. Of course, sometimes it doesn't work, but with help of Greenpeace we will find the way out.
My major gratitude is to you, my dear representatives. To my subjective point of view, if such meetings were more frequent, our world might have been much safer than now. Let's just think that our future will bring positive changes, only positive changes, both for humans and the surrounding.